Jeff Kennedy, React Radio. You just made the statement about we lost the White House greats.
Is the multiracial progressive coalition and the history of it in this country and what has it done, is that the path that should be taken? These are things that we will articulate, we will go in and we will argue tonight in the best of manner that we're going to argue and get across tonight. So that's a challenge. So I'm going to meet that challenge tonight. I'm going to hope to meet that challenge because you know I'm going to be arguing tonight. A little bit earlier, we want to know about that. There's some things he said over there today we want to talk about. What he said over there, why he said over there, and did he miss the ball over there. There's so much to be said about Donald Trump. And I want to say that clearly before I bring Mr. West on and Mr. Nzinga on, that clearly we intend to oppose Donald Trump at every turn.
Yes, sir.
That is number one. We must resist to exist, and that the leadership that we have and that will be coming tonight and others around the country, that we are going to resist him by all means available.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to get into how we're going to do it. But we're in for a fight. No easy opponent with Mr. Trump. So I want to say that that's all I'm going to say right now. I'm going to bring on our brother, our ally, a scholar and an activist, one of the greats of our times. He knows our history. He knows who we are as a people. He knows where we're going. But he's not just a scholar. He's a scholar activist.
Yes,
You've
sir.
seen him in Ferguson, Missouri, put his body on the line. You've seen him around the country. I would say that he is probably going to be looked to in the future amongst the civil rights leadership as a leading figure as to which way to go. They have tried to marginalize him in the civil rights movement because of his keen and sharp and unrelenting analysis, and tried to marginalize him as just an intellectual. But like myself, he's more than an intellectual or a learned person. He has ideas, he has a following, he has people that support him that can help change the way our lives are lived. So I want you to receive the Honorable Dr. Cornel West. I thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Wow.
Let me say it is a blessing for me to be here, and I look forward to learning and listening tonight. I come from the old school.
Yes, sir.
I believe in respecting my young brothers and sisters, and also trying to put forward my own perspective for the empowerment, not simply of each other, but especially for those who are suffering. I want to salute both of my brothers. Give it up for both of them.
Yeah.
Why? Because we come out of the same tradition, and that tradition is struggle for black freedom, and that tradition has always had a number of different wings, a number of different perspectives, streams and strands. There's never been full unanimity when it comes to the struggle for black freedom, but what we do share is a very deep love for the people, a focus on the suffering and the misery, and trying to find a way out. And for me, it it is inescapable to allow a focus in a fundamental way on the black power and black nationalist wing of the black freedom struggle, even as I come in from the Ella Baker, Fannie Lou Hamer, Martin Luther King Jr. wing. And historically, there's always been a need for the coming together. The genius of a Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
Yes, sir.
Alongside that of Ida B. Wells Barnett or E.W.B. Du Bois. The need for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Sit down as he did with a genius named James Baldwin, who wrote about him with such courage in The Fire Next Time. And of course, that moment, June 27, 1964, when Malcolm X sent a note to Martin Luther King Jr. and said, will you come with me to the United Nations to put America on trial for the violation of black people's rights? And Martin said, yes.
Teach the history, brother.
Never got a chance to come together. People like to always view them over against rather than they overlap. And the common denominator is what? They love black people.
Yes, sir.
Unequivocally, unconditionally.
Good point,
And
brother.
what I love about this brother and this brother here is that I've seen him, I've watched him over the years. I've been around for a long time. We met almost 20-some years ago right there at Howard when Brother Tavis had the gathering. That must have been 1990 something.
Yes, sir.
Brother walked in with new Black Panthers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And all the upper middle class black leaders sitting in there, and I said, this is my brother. I want y'all to know that. Don't think just because I wear a three-piece suit that I'm not on fire.
Yes, sir.
Justice. Whatever attire you have on, it's a question of your focus, your deeds, and what cost you're willing to pay. And what cost you're willing to pay. And I just can't wait, as I say, to learn and listen tonight, because I've always learned so much from my black nationalist brothers and sisters. I have a deep love for Minister Louis Farrakhan, and given what agreements and disagreements we struggle and so forth and so on. And I know that there really is no Malik Shabazz without Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right.
And without Minister Khalid Muhammad.
That's right. Jacob
I
Moses.
struggled with Brother Khalid. Oh, you know we had to struggle with Brother Khalid. Oh, someone have mercy. And Minister Louis Farrakhan too, but I will not allow anybody.
Another thing they don't want to say, Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz can come to the press club and write a check that won't bounce.
Teach. Get that science.
A big one, too.
So you got Abraham Lincoln
That's right.
signing a proclamation freeing us. But you got him being killed 9 months before the 13th Amendment. And then you got if you didn't know, you got a vice president that was from Tennessee that took back your 40 acres in America. Took your voice back. Put Confederates back on the Senate. And so as I hear John pulling that trigger in the theater, I hear Donald Trump. He's the gunshot of assassination of our ride. And if we don't deal with him wisely and quickly, the trickster who has the Obama words his birth certificate when your father and mother from Germany, when your wife is from Russia. Hell wrong with you, man.
How dare you?
We're not children to be played with. We got a legacy and ancestors that we named up here, and they're in this room right now, and we owe them something that's called courage. So I just want to say one thing. Ain't no time to hide now. Harry did that.
Yes, sir.
Ain't no time to hide now. You can go visit the Frederick Douglass house. How many of y'all done went in the museum that Donald Trump fake visited today? We don't care about our history no more. We don't care about our legacy no more. That's why people steal it so easy. Because we got a bunch of Judases running around here. And they don't get no 30 pieces. I had to get with my theologian to make sure how many pieces it was. They only give you about 2 pieces now. So I hope in the debate tonight we talk about the house niggas.
Got to do that.
And bring Malcolm back.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Come on.
And put the field Negroes back in their proper place. Because if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be here. And anytime you got a president to bring Cornel West, Steve Harvey, Jim Brown, Ray Lewis to the White House, but he ain't bringing no mayors, he ain't bringing no congressmen, he ain't bringing no senators, he ain't bringing no economic developers. And he playing with you. So I'm glad my brother called this to start it off. You remember this. Right across the street, it was the Watergate building when Nixon did what he did, right? See, these presidents, did you know Agnew, the vice president of Nixon, went to jail for 3 years? Did you know Nixon was impeached while he started the war that Trump is trying to start on Black America? So what I'm saying, this is a time that we pull out our arsenal and open up all cannons. The truth is sufficient. Black power.
Black power.
9415 Atlantic Avenue, House of the Lord Pentecostal Church, phone number 596. No, that's part of the legacy. So when I look at you, I see myself as a young brother right there at National Black United Front. From APCO with Charles Barron, who was a revolutionary politician. It was the African Christian Revolutionary Organization, people's organization, connected with IMBA. So when I see you again, that rich tradition is alive in the younger generation. I think the important thing is that the younger generation has to lift its voice with power and come up with ways that have impact on circumstances they understand, and then make its choices as to how they proceed. Nation within a nation, united front, progressive coalitions with other peoples, black, white, red, yellow, and so forth. That debate needs to take place among the younger generation and with the kind of front that we're trying to create. So that in that sense, I don't like to dictate as an older brother as to how young people lift their voices. I just want them to know that my attempt to lift my voice, I hope, has been one that they might find some insight and inspiration as they find their voice. See what I mean? It's like with Monk told Coltrane. You know Theologians Monk, the great jazz musician. John Coltrane, the great jazz musician. Coltrane, you've been imitating Johnny Hodges too much. Hodges played saxophone for Duke Ellington's band. You've been imitating too much. Time for you to find your voice, Train. I thought I already found it. No, you got something in there you don't even know about. Come to my house. You show up in Monk's living room, and Monk would play the piano while Train just sit there with his horn in his lap. He said, Monk, that sounds wrong. Sometimes wrong is right. Thinking for yourself. I want you to always think for yourself. This brother has always, he thinks for himself.
Yes.
He thinks for himself. Which means then, to answer your question, my own option is to make sure there's a dialogue and with people who are for a nation within a nation so that black self-determination can flower and flourish. I say, I'll support you. My own orientation is multiracial united front against neo-fascism called Trump, multiracial coalition to try to transform capitalist civilization into a more democratic socialist one. So what does that mean? That means there's overlap. The Recovery Act that was mentioned before, somebody give me a phone call to support that act, I'll be down here in a minute. I hitchhike down here from Boston to support it. See what I mean? But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm opting for a nation within a nation. Because I love my black nationalist brothers and sisters, but I'm not a black nationalist. And you see the difference, my brother? We work together in that way. And that doesn't mean that that we're disagreeing in such a way that we're disempowered. I'm going to support reparations all the way through. All the way through. Why? Because we want young brothers and sisters just like you that have self-respect, self-defense, self-determination, self-love, and raise your voice. And that one voice doesn't dictate everybody else's voice. It's got to be like a jazz orchestra. Every voice being raised, bounced up against the other voices to create something new. And I think that as long as black people survive in white supremacist civilization, there will always be a black power, black nationalist wing of the Black Freedom Party, the Black Freedom Movement. Always. Always has been, I think it always will be. I think there'll always be those calling for a kind of multiracial coalition that has a radical democratic or democratic socialist orientation. Why? Because those have been the two dominant views as to how black people can be free here and around the world. And of course we'll get into Mandela, Lumumba, Nkrumah, and others around the world.
So there you have some of the structure for the debate points tonight. There's some of the structure for the debate points. Black national.
Let me say one word on it. I'll say it from here.
They want you must make sure you get your voice in the, there you go.
Anytime a man take a full page ad out in the New York Times, the New York Post, when 5 black children are accused of something, and you go and write a full page ad out asking for the death penalty to be brought back to New York for these 5 children.
Wow.
And being a billionaire in New York, and you know, I'm looking at you, you know billionaires run the governor. They run the governor. They run the DA. They run the attorney general. They run the politics. So when a billionaire takes an ad out and tells you to kill 5 niggas, that's what you do. But some DNA test was taken, and they was proven innocent. And this filthy Donald Trump hadn't even came behind a mic and apologized to them babies and their family. And you want to run the black nation?
Good.
So I say what Malcolm say. I say you don't stab a man in the back 12 inches and take it out sick and say you're making progress. I say you don't take it all the way out and the wound is healed, and Malcolm say, and say you're making progress. As long as you got the same mindset. So I say when you sit with somebody, Malcolm said, and you're dining, everybody got to have some food on their plate. So going to Donald Trump and sit with him while watching him eat is not a good idea.
Amen.
That's right.
From what I observe about Mr. Trump is he is a master negotiator. Now, he's a businessman at that. Now, he might be, in my judgment, he's the worst kind of politician ever, but for others, he's the greatest. Obviously, he's took his politics on to the White House.
Yeah.
But as a negotiator, he maximizes getting what he needs out of the deal, as he characterizes it. He maximizes what he's getting out of the deal at the minimum expense to himself. Meaning he's a specialist at giving up the least. That's his mentality all along. That's the super capitalist mentality all along. So he knows in any interchange, in any meeting, how to use you for that photograph, how to ease the perceptions about his agenda and who he is, and how to smile and take a picture with you, getting everything out of him for himself and leaving you with virtually nothing. We get more into it tonight, the science of how to deal with a man like that. Now, one thing he knows how to do is he knows how to negotiate, and he knows how to get deals cut in his favor. We get further into it. There's many things that we are against, but he is not to be underestimated. That is for sure. Other questions before we start giving up the whole debate tonight? We're not going to give up the whole debate tonight. We thank you so much for coming. And tonight we're going to go right into it. We're going to start fresh from the gate right here in the ballroom at 7 sharp. 7 sharp. Come in and get your seats early because faces, you're ready. We got to be ready. Dr. West and I have something that's beyond the normal meetings, dialogue, interchanges here tonight. We have organizations coming from around the country. In Buff, come on, before we leave.
My name is Brother Batulu from National Black United Front, DC. And I wanted to ask, I know where you stand because I talked to you. I wanted to ask the brother Cornel West, are we going to continue to give our generations, our young kids, over to the same system that's trying to kill us?
I'm just saying, man, some of these questions is important. I mean, we can go on the time to debate, but now you got to, when you ask a question like that, you got to allow, because there's people in the room that are dependent on the right answer. So yeah, I have my position and my disagreements with it, but it's a disagreement even out of love. And I can show you individuals that were coming here today. I mean, black men, stone cold, gay, switching all the way. And they will come in here and tell you that that man, Mr. Shabazz, fed me when I did not have food. He housed me when I didn't have housing. He took care of me. And I would be remiss to tell you if I don't be trying to get him back in arms. Because I love you, the black woman, and the black family, most of all. So this is a different perspective. I understand what you're saying about others that have come up in our community. They say, that happened to be gay. And I cannot deny that. That is a historical fact.
You acknowledge that things fall and stay in the army. He stayed right there.
Okay, well, I understand. Allow us this moment. I'm not saying that he couldn't shoot a gun. He wasn't effective. I'm not saying because of his sexual orientation he wasn't an effective fighter. There's people like that who whooped it hard. But when I'm talking about a soldier, I mean a soldier here for the black woman and for the war for the white nation. All right, so I'm sorry, Daddy, but that is my answer, and that's how I live my life.
Man's law is different from God's law. Two different things.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, peace family.
United States of America. If a judge rules against Donald Trump, immediately this fool goes on Twitter. Probably had a cocktail late at night. And tweet. As the president of the United States, aren't you embarrassed? What am I saying as I get to your question, brother? We're going to explore that later. But he's a real fascist. He wants to be a fascist. He wants to shut down the press. He wants to shut down the media. He wants to shut down the courts. He personally attacks judges, calls them so-called judges, even when the fool got a case pending. And you wonder why you lose the case, fool. Donald Trump is a fool. And you know he's a fool. But if he's crazy like a fox. What am I saying here today, dear brother? I'm going to explore this question as we go into this debate.
That's fine.